Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of our My Eileen Talks. Today we will talk about The Mandalorian. But first, a note of the host of this podcast. I would appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. The Mandalorian is an American space western television series created by Jon Favreau, I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly, for the streaming service Disney+. It is the first live-action series produced in the Star Wars franchise, beginning 5 years after the events of the Return of the Jedi. The series stars Pedro Pascal as the title characters, a lone bounty hunter who goes on the run to protect the Force-sensitive child Grogu from remnant Imperial forces led by Moff Gideon. In the third season, Katee Sackhoff co-stars as Mandalorian Bo-Katan Kryze. Following her appearance is the second season. Star Wars creator George Lucas had begun developing a live-action Star Wars television series by 2009, but this project was deemed too expensive to produce. He sold Lucasfilm to Disney in October 2012. Subsequently, work on a new Star Wars series began for Disney+. Favreau signed on in March 2018, serving as writer and showrunner. He executive produced alongside Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, and Colin Wilson. The series title was announced in October of 2018, with filming starting at Manhattan Beach Studio in California. Visual effects company Industrial Lights and Magic developed the stagecraft technology for the series, using virtual sets and a 360-degree video wall to create the series environments. This has since been adopted by other film and television production. The first season of The Mandalorian premiered with the launch of Disney Plus on November 12, 2019. A second season premiered on October 13, 2020, and a third season premiered on the 1st of March 2023. A third featured film titled The Mandalorian and Grogu is in development, directed by Favreau and co-written with Filoni. A fourth season of the series has been in development, but it was unclear if it would proceed following the announcement of The Mandalorian and Grogu. In the connected spin-off series The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew expand on the Mandalorian time frame, with an untitled future film directed by Filoni set to serve as a conclusion to the interconnected stories. So, when The Mandalorian came out, I didn't watch it directly because at that time there were so many Star Wars movies and series coming out that I had my doubts that it's gonna be good. Well, now I have Disney Plus, so I watch them now, and I must say I'm very surprised that it is very good. And I really love the story and the hype around little Grogu. Yeah, I can imagine that now because I've fallen in love with him as much as everyone else. But The Mandalorian is a nice storyline because, of course, we have the storyline of Boba Fett. Of course, we have the series of the Book of Boba Fett. But we don't know exactly, well, exactly is a big word. But it is nice to have the background stories now of all Mandalorians. And I believe we don't know the real name of Mandalorian, because that's not been told. But I do love the stories, exactly in that Grogu is already old, but for his species, he is not. And especially the ending of, I must say, that was the ending of season 3. I do like it that they have this own little planet where they live, and so the Imperial Emperor can't find them. But what I mostly saw, but maybe that's also because Mando didn't want to jeopardize the safety of those people of this little town, that he's been there with Grogu. I even spotted a little bit of a romance with that lady, but they're not there. And so I am assuming they are living now alone on a planet where the Empire can't find Grogu. And as I said, in season 2, the ending of season 2, you see that Grogu is going with Luke Skywalker to be trained. But it appears that Grogu is already so much attached to Mando that Grogu is going back to the Mandalorian. Well, the one thing I really noticed, and of course there are a lot more you can noticing about the Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is really following the book. And I noticed that he is not stepping everywhere, and goes by the rules of the book of the Mandalorian. And I don't know if this is his honor, or maybe that is how he is. Or because we see that a group of Mandalorians don't keep their helmet on. And so my question is, and don't get me wrong guys, I do like Star Wars, although I'm a bigger Star Trek fan, as you know. But so I don't know the ins and outs of Star Wars. My question is, what happened to that Bo-Katan section, if I can say it like that? And everyone is making her some kind of a queen or leader of the Mandalorian. But my feeling is that the blacksmith of the Mandalorian is more a leader than Bo-Katan. And I must say, I love the outfit of the blacksmithy, so I have an idea to do a Mandalorian cosplay as so in the smithy cosplay armor, and then with little Grogu. That would be lovely, but that's for another thing. I must say, it's a very strong fraction of what the Mandalorians are. And my question is also, the armor that the Mandalorian is wearing, I think that is personalized, customized, and there must be, every part of it has to be a story behind it. And we even see that Grogu is getting a part of the blade, of a part of armor. So what I'm hoping, in a way, So I'm very curious in how far Grogu is becoming a Mandalorian. And of course we know them much more as a Jedi, of course, of Yoda. So I'm very curious how Grogu is developing and in how much time is he still going to be a Jedi, etc. There was a very nice battle, or let I say, Luke Skywalker is coming to help, to aid the Mandalorians. And I must say it's very, it's still Star Wars, but it is also like the Mandalorian on its own, you know? And we see this time, and the bad guy, what's his name? Moff Gideon. Right away, when I saw his outfit, I right away had to think of Darth Vader. And maybe they did that on purpose, maybe because it is a beforehand prequel for the other movies. Although I'm wondering in how far, and of course this series is all about Mandalorian, but in how far, in one way I hope we're still going to see the developing of the Jedi Academy, and what about the Jedis? And so the Mando, I'm calling him Mando, okay? That's easier. I do think he's an interesting character, because he is different than the other Mandalorians. And what we see, and that's the most beautiful, I think that is and there's another question I have. How old can a Mandalorian be? Because we saw this piece that a little boy become Mandalorian and start training as a Mandalorian and get his helmet, and because he is initiated. And I always thought that was Mando himself. And so because the blacksmith already was there, so I can be totally wrong, so help me out here, guys. If you know the answer, just put it in the comment section, or of course on the Facebook group. I have a special chat that is, you can discuss the current episode, so you can do it in there. So I do quite like it that he shown this so much emotions and sentiment for Grogu, and my heart melted when he said, I will adopt Grogu as my own son and apprentice. And I was thinking, it's nice to see that he is this so sentimental and emotional because, of course, of Grogu. But Grogu becomes stronger and stronger. And what I love, everyone is saying, yeah, it's cute, etc., etc., etc. He is cute. But what I noticed in how more we going further into the seasons and going into the episodes is that Grogu is becoming stronger and older. And maybe you could see that there was this point that I can't remember, he was also he was not a trader, but he was also like a bounty hunter, and he became mayor. I can't remember what his name was, but he had made this robot thingy for Grogu, so Grogu can use that. and Grogu, you can see that maybe as a toddler saying no, but I personally felt that it was more like a teenager thing, that Torben said, okay, no. But you see him growing in the way of not even with the power, but also like the character itself. And I really like that. Of course, we have a few of, I must say, the Imperial, I don't want to say that service, but what I was, because now I'm thinking a bit back of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I have her in my mind now, but there are others, of course. It is typical Empire, and like I said, when Mod aired, and you see, he is manipulating those Mandalorian and everyone else around him so much that it's just like, I would say, the bad side, the dark side. And if we see, and that's what I'm thinking now, Grogu at that point, in the end, season 3, is already stronger than what's his name? I can't. Mod Gideon, yes. He is stronger than him. And so I'm wondering what is going to happen to Grogu, because Grogu has this Jedi power, but he's also going to be trained as a Mandalorian. So there's an open story for all of this. You also can see that Mando has a good heart. He helps out where he can, and of course there has to be a reason to help, but he does so much, and I think I do think he could be a good leader. So I am curious what happened to him as well. And the nice thing, there was this scene, and he was asking one of the bounty hunters, I believe, to say, well, don't put me in too much risk anymore because I have Grogu to take care of, like a father would say, And I think that is beautiful. And there was a moment that I thought that Bo-Katan and Mando would be a romantic couple, but I don't think they are a good match. And well, like I said, it is a nice thing to know that they based this whole series on the original films, and it's nice to see those components back that we already know. I must say, the creatures are still ugly, like that. The monsters, I mean, where Amanda had to fight too. But what was interesting was those 3 red, how'd you say it? I don't know if they were Jedis or, they were interesting, and I don't want to say they were creepy, but what I wanted to say is that they were, I hoped there was a bit more background about them, because it is something what is really different than the normal Jedis, and it is a bit weird that Grogu could defeat those three on his own. So that's what I also mean with Grogu is becoming stronger and stronger when we walk into the episodes and seasons. I do think the traditions of the Mandalorians are very beautiful. And it reminds me a bit of still fighting for the good, but with honor in a way of how they do. And walking the path of a Mandalorian goes very deep. Not only as in physical or wisdom wise, but also spiritual, and they have everything. And you know, that's what I didn't like about Bo-Katan, is that she, I don't want to say she took it with a pinch of salt, but it is more like she didn't honor to the traditions like Mando does. And perhaps that is why she never will be fully accepted by everyone. And I was a bit of flabbergasted that she was seen as a leader, because she doesn't really have those leader skills, and she only think of fame and that kind of thing, you know. And what really weird was to me is that she was so obsessed with that black lightsaber that I was thinking, okay, there must be another story about her that I don't know, why she is so obsessed with Mod Gideon and this black lightsaber. And I must say, guys, it is still weird to see her as Bo-Katan, because I see her, and that's where I know her from, is the new Battlestar Galactica at Starbucks. And so it was a bit weird to see, and I had that the same feeling with when I watched Andromeda again. Dylan Hunt, the captain, we know him best as Hercules. And I had a whole conversation with Tommy of Track Cannon about it, and yeah, it's in one way weird, because you have this role that you can't shake off, and that's exactly the same with for Harry Potter actors, Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, of course, and of course Tom Felton, and a bit more. I must say, and I'm thinking that now, that bounty hunter who became a mayor, he is a sleazy one. He really is. I didn't like him from the start. But we see also other characters that we know. I thought we saw BB-8, but also those X-Wing fighter pilots. What's his name? He's one known as well. Oh, and that was funny. They left Grogu in the classroom on that planet, and because Demira and Mando needed to talk. And what's up with Grogu's eating habits? Every time we see him, 9 of the 10 times he's eating. And there wasn't even this scene with the Mando was fighting this beast, and I don't want to say he was losing, but it was a fight, and Grogu had a drink, I believe, and food, like popcorn, like he's watching a movie. And I was thinking, dude, what are you doing? But it was cute to see. And also I'm wondering, is Mando going to be stronger and stronger? Because I haven't seen a Mandalorian, and I don't know if it is in the Book of Boba Fett. I still need to watch that and the other series. So I have seen Obi-Wan Kenobi one, and that's the one I'm going to make an episode as well of. So yeah, so guys, help me out with this. You can give your answer, of course, in the chat and in the comment section of the YouTube and the Facebook group, of course. Yeah, I'm hoping that the other series and movie about the Mandalorian is coming out. I've read that, so hopefully. But I also hope that there will be a lot of more seasons of the Mandalorian, and that we see Grogu grow, and maybe he still is going to have a part of the Jedi training. Who knows? It would be nice if there is something, a bit of a romance there for Mando, and that, for example, his love interest is a Jedi or whatever. Talking about that, I also have started playing the game Star Wars The Old Republic, and I must say it's very nice to know a bit of a background of the things, and I'm enjoying it, playing it. I'm streaming it as well on Twitch as on my YouTube channel. So yeah, have a take a look. I don't know what to say more about this series. I do love it. And if I'm going to take a look on IMDb what the overall rating is, it's an 8.7. That's quite high, to be honest, because I don't see that much high ratings on IMDb. Personally, I would go for 9 or even 9.5, because it is good. And yeah, who knows? Let me know what you think about what you think about the characters, what you think about the environment, what do you think about the storyline, etc, etc, etc. And yeah, discuss with me what you think about The Mandalorian. So thank you for listening, and join me in 2 weeks for a new episode of Maya Elaine's Talks. The next episode is about the Strange New World crossover with Lower Decks with Tommy of Trek Canon. And I must say, I really enjoyed that episode. Even Boimer wasn't that annoying. Only Mariner. You can find the Maya Elaine Talks podcast on Spotify, Anchors, Google Podcast, Amazon Music, on the YouTube channel, or of course you can join the Facebook group. I also have 2 other podcasts called the Dutch Ready Room Podcast and Girls Talking Trek. The Dutch Ready Room Podcast is a podcast for all the Dutch Trekkies to talk about everything Star Trek. Of course, this will be spoken in my native language, Dutch. You can find the Dutch Ready Room Podcast on the Facebook group and the YouTube channel. Girls Talking Trek is a Trek podcast that I used to do with my good friend Amanda. But since her passing, I'm doing the podcast alone. So I'm still looking for another Trek friend who will and have the time to recap with me every 2 weeks an episode of Star Trek. At the moment I am recapping Season 3 of Star Trek TNG.